Okay,
And that,
folks, let's.
yeah.
We're gonna get into our what I said that we like to call get off the chest. This is normally our time to express frustration or disagreements with anything going on in the world of sports, relationship, anything that's bothering us at the moment. So my get off the chest moment today will be solely based on Mr. Bronny James. No offense, kid. Don't take nothing I say personal, but some things have to be said. Now, most recently, I'm gonna read y'all some stats, so bear with me. And Patrick, I want you to chime in on if you saw these numbers blindly, what type of player you would think this person this person will eventually become. So this guy, Bron, well we know we talk about Bronny, was sought after because of who his daddy was pretty much. He is the definition of a Nepo baby. And I'm gonna explain why. Listen to this. Freshman year of high school, decided to play his private college, one of the most profile high schools in Los Angeles. His freshman year, this player averaged 4 points in 15 minutes per game and appeared in 34 games all season. Now I get it, you're a freshman. I think that was the height of the pandemic. Okay, cut him some slack. He's a freshman. This is a high profile team. He's not gonna get that much playing time. So let's see, where it goes from there. Sophomore year. Didn't play at all sophomore year. 2021 had surgery to repair a torn meniscus, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that season pretty much never got going. He missed the whole game he did play in. A few games, but not really. He scored 7 points in one game, and that's about it. The team finished that season at a record of 16-2, led by a junior named Amari Bailey. His junior year, pretty much, kind of rose to prominence, so to speak. Got more playing time, but once again dealt with, some injuries, ankle injury, some hip injuries. Averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 29 appearances. I'll wait to see an all-star in these stats. Stop me when y'all hear all-star blow me away stats.
Man, right now, at this rate, this seems like respectfully, I get this is LeBron's son, but the truth is the truth. I'm seeing a dud right now.
Thank you. Uh, no different in his senior year. Led a team. Brother Bryce also joined the team. They went overseas. This team was able to play a couple exhibition games overseas. He averaged, a couple big games over there. Scored 25 points a couple times, but missed, once again, a couple games through a new knee injury. I think his senior year he finished with what is his stats? Oh, they only give his stats for senior year. Don't see him. Oh, as a senior, averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, led the team to a 23-11 record. Coming out of high school, he quote unquote recruited since the age of 10. Um, reportedly had offers from Duke and Kentucky. He was seen as a 4-star recruit within the top 30 players of the class of 2023. That class was garbage.
Yeah.
That had to be a garbage class. I'm seeing this guy's stats. There's no way this guy was warranted to be a top 30 player in the class of 2023. I want, I want, I want to see who else ranked in that class because who did his rankings. So he announced that he, planned on attending either Ohio State, Oregon, or USC. Finally committed on May 6th to USC. Now, his college career never really got off going. We all know, well aware of, his health issues with the cardiac arrest due to a heart defect. Never really got his career going at USC. He played 25 games, starting six, averaging 4.8 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, 2 assists, and averaging about 19 minutes. In 2024, he announced that he was going to enter the draft, but also maintain that he's going to enter the transfer portal at the same time. But, you know, somebody got him medically cleared to eligible for the NBA draft. It was reported that he had 10 workout invites from teams, but he only visited a couple of teams, which included the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. Only two teams he worked out for. And as we know, he was soon drafted 55th overall with the draft to play alongside his dad, become the first father-son duo, blah, blah, blah. They got in the game for a couple of minutes. Well, sit down the D League. Mind you, turn it up in the D League. That way he needs to be. This guy has no playing experience. I just read to you out how many times he was injured, how often he played, how often he didn't play. This guy needed some experience. He needed some playing time. He just didn't deserve a spot on no NBA bench, let alone on the bench beside his father, who some argue is the greatest of all time. But it's his father. He's a nepotism baby. He got drafted on the team that his father played for. Because LeBron was harping for the longest about being able to play with my sons, So he was able to play. So he was just called up recently after, averaging pretty decently down in the G League, playing pretty good ball in the G League. Went back and scored, had a 30-point game on 13 to 23 shooting. Then had another game, career high, 31 points. They felt good, so they called him up. And this is my problem. He gets back to the big league, and he stinks. First game back, I think was the first time it's really been in rotation was the Lakers lost to the 76ers last Tuesday night. Bronny played 15 minutes, some alongside his dad, but this kid never got going. Scored 0 points, 0 for 5 shooting, had three rebounds, an assist, a block, but also turned the ball over 3 times. When asked, and here's my biggest issue with this, I'm going to read his quote, so bear with me, guys. When asked to evaluate Bronny's performance against the 76ers and where he's at in his developmental process, here's what LeBron had to say via Spectrum Sportsnet. And I quote, I thought early on he just played. I think he played well early on and was able to get behind the defense on one and find Jackson for a dunk that was good. Obviously missed some shots, but it's just about him getting more and more comfortable. Obviously was his first extensive minutes with us. We had that first game where it was just a moment, and it was a great moment, but tonight was his first opportunity to be with the big club. He's going to continue to use that to get better and better, just like his first time he played with the G League. And the more and more opportunities you get, hopefully he does not get more opportunity. Hopefully he does get more opportunities with us. That's obviously out of his hands. But what he can control is how he works on his game to get better and better, which we've seen him do since the moment he entered that Minnesota game today. End quote. LeBron. Goat James, as Skip Shannon Sharp calls you. Goat James. Let me holler at you, my man. What was you watching? Do you have sweat in your eyes? Or you had your face covered with a towel? Did you have that proud dad moment that you turn away, you don't want to see your kids struggle? What was it? Cause I can watch the highlights of Bronny that game. That guy looked so much out of place. It's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. He does not need I don't care how he need to be in the G League. I don't care if everybody on the Lakers is hurt. Go call up somebody who's been sitting on their couch, semi-retired.
Great.
Go get you a Manu Ginobili. Go get you a Tony Parker. Call up Tim Duncan. Call up a Pages Tujakovic, a Mike Bibby. Anybody. Anybody. A Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins. Anybody. Old man Ben Wallace, who look like more like Frederick Douglass nowadays. Call him up and get him on the team. Let the nepotism aside. Nepotism aside. If it was not for nepotism, those stats I laid out, there's no way this player is even in the NBA.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the G League and the NBA is a night and day difference. A lot of the players, I wish I wrote this stat down. A lot of the players that go from the G League to the NBA, guess how many points they typically average per game in the NBA? Maybe
at least
4.
maybe 4.
Maybe 4. Maybe. That's how big of a difference it is going from the G League to the NBA. And yet they expecting, I get Bronny is lighting up in the G League, but I also see the people in the G League is around the same size as him.
Yeah, and any guys in the G League are like the Division 2, Division 3, probably college ball players. Look, there ain't too many D1 guys, that's playing in the G League. If we being honest.
Yeah. Oh. But LeBron, this is a bad on you. I'm going to tell a story, and I'm not going to put names to it, but there was a son. There was a father who was in the Air Force, and there was a son who was getting to, his last year of school. He wanted to go into the Navy. So he went up to his father and told him, hey, I'm going in the Navy to be an underwater welder. Mind you, the father knows, what his son can do. And he turns around and he's like, son, what are you thinking? Do you know anything about welding? He's like, no, I just want to try it. Again, what are you thinking, son? How you just going to expect that, not only are you going to take welding, but you talking about being underwater. You don't even know how to swim. That's what a good father does for his son. He tries to steer him in the right direction. Even if that son don't want to listen. LeBron, on the other hand, for the sake of his popularity, for his ego,
exactly,
he's trying to push his son. And then for him to sit there and say, yeah, that was one of the greatest moments ever that, for me, that won't ever be replicated again. It's just him just saying, no one else is going to be able to compete with me. This is another record that I said, and no one is going to be able to break it. I'm ready to see this dude go. Really. I'm tired of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he at this point, he just chasing everything just for the sake of saying that he's the first to do it. Quote, quote, he's maybe the only one to do it. Like I said, if any other kid, if Bronny James was not Bronny James, if Bronny James was Jalen Carter, Kill Knight, whatever name you want to give him besides Bronny James, you cannot tell me that this guy, this ball player, based on his limited playing time, 2, his sub mediocre stats against, I mean, if he was tearing it up with this prep school, I can totally understand, all the attention that he's got. But he wouldn't even turn up with the highest thing. I say, it reminds me of the Ball brothers. And how much LeVar was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all my boys in the NBA and blah blah blah. They all be on the same team and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But all these kids had talent, except for Jello, who I guess found his other calling to be a rapper now. But that's another topic for another day. But you got Lonzo and you got LaMelo, who are decent ball players, who play organized ball and was successful at different levels, but they just neither one can stay healthy. So that's the knock on the ball rollers. But you got LeBron thinking, hey, my kid can actually play. I'm questioning that. I'm really questioning that because you can't just take this 5 or 6, whatever, how many games he played in the G League. That is such a small sample size that you can't judge that on his basketball career. It's so small. They say everything leader, you had multiple years, constantly battle injury. No, kudos, mad respect for him coming out of that heart situation to even be able to play basketball. Not knocking him in no way on that. But if your daddy wouldn't, LeBron James, like I say, you should have spent maybe 2 or 3 more years in college, if we're being real. If you didn't like the situation at USC, hey, get in transfer portal, find a team, get on a team that'll get you some playing time, that you can hone in your skills, and that you can get the reps you needed. But no, you decided, hey, Dad's approaching year 21, year 22. He want this, like you said, his ego got in the way and said, hey, you probably told Bronny, hey, you enter in the draft. So you enter in the draft, here's how it's going to go. Oh, you're going to fall a couple of spots because, I can't make it too obvious. But, when the Lakers got some pick, to waste away, I told them that was in my contract for me to resign to draft you. So we're going to make sure you come and we can create history, me and you playing together. But LeBron got to be real. LeBron running that team. LeBron is the GM behind the scenes. He had a say in JJ Redick get hired as the coach. After I forgot who the other guy name was, backed out of the deal when he was literally about to sign the contract for the job. I can't think of the guy name. Chat, if you know it, hit us up, remind us of the name. But he was handpicked, his podcast buddy. How you how you how your podcast buddy is now your head coach?
Right.
Come on. So you got all this power, and you like I said, Bronny, if I was smart, I get my money and I go about my business. Because once Daddy out that league, once Daddy don't have no say, you might as well pack your bags and head out with Daddy. Because I don't think your name will hold that much weight unless you go out and you start tearing it up, which I don't see happening. So, but that's my get off the chest. I mean, just the whole nepotism behind this thing, and like LeBron just damaging this kid reputation, so to speak, just to stroke his ego, just to add accolades behind his name. Because we all know at the end of the day, he's chasing Jordan. And he's no way on the level of Jordan. He will never be on the level of Jordan. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all come in the chat, heal me, come at me, do whatever you want to do. But he will never be a Jordan. And he think, every other accolade that Jordan didn't accomplish is more reason to say, I'm the best to do it again. I'm the best to ever play the game. Oh, I'm the scoring leader, all-time scoring leader. Yeah, you did it because you played 20 plus years. Jordan never played with his son because Jordan knew enough that his son wasn't good at basketball. Marcus, I think it was Marcus, if I'm not mistaken, if I got the right Jordan son.
Yeah.
One garbage. He played a couple seasons at UNC and bounced around in the D League, G League, or whatever it was at the time. Never made a professional basketball team. If he did, he never saw playing time. It wasn't Jordan that come back out of retirement to say, oh, let me play with Marcus or whoever the case may be. If it wasn't Marcus, I do apologize. But he didn't come out of retirement all those times to just say, hey, let me add this to my accolade. Nobody ever played with their son on this level. Let me go and grab my son and let me play with my son. No. Come on. No. So
Exactly.
LeBron, if you're smart, just let this kid go. You used him, you did what you need to do with him. Like I said, if you really want to play, and you really think you'd have waited on Bryce, because Bryce is gonna be a stud in my opinion. Bryce got the height, Bryce got the size, Bryce got more athleticism than Bronny, in my opinion. I think you probably should have waited on Bryce if you want a real deal Holyfield type or father son duo playing it together in the NBA. You're not gonna get that with Bronny. I'm sorry. That's my get it off my chest. If I offended anybody, I do apologize. But this kid is a typical Nepo baby, and it's got to stop. And LeBron's gonna punish this. It's probably already damaged poor kid, but
Yeah.
we'll see what the GM Braun got up his sleeve for this poor kid.
Well, I don't know what he has up his sleeve for the kid, but this whole situation, sorry, Stephen A. Smith, I thought of this before you, even though you said it before me. So I'm going to say it. This reminds me of Joe Frazier's son versus Larry Holmes. Joe Frazier's son, who we thought was going to be, the next Joe Frazier. That fight was so bad to where Senior had to throw the towel to in the fight. And we ain't heard nothing else from Joe Frazier's son since. This is how bad this is. And as far as LeBron goes, the minute he sat up there during that post-game interview and ignorantly said, "No, I don't think I've ever played with a super team before." Yeah. I said, there's something wrong with this guy. And now he's even getting the AD. Did you hear about AD talking about he think they need another big? Do you think that seriously came from AD? Or that's LeBron pulling strings behind the scenes?
And AD's been balling. If we're being honest, AD had been doing his thing before I think just twisted a knee or ankle or something like that. But before that, I mean, he's averaging over 20 something points a game, over pretty much 10, 15 rebounds, double machine out there. So if he's on the court, I mean, why would you need that big? I mean, unless you want to play him at a different position, but he's dominating at the five. I want to see he's playing at the five, maybe the four sometimes. But he's having pretty good success with that. Why would you change that up?
I don't know. But like you said, they call him Le GM for a reason. So I know that when AD said that, I'm like, this has LeBron written all over it, man. AD is becoming LeBron's puppet. And
Yeah,
what?
if they say, if be honestly, it should be AD team.
Yeah.
He should be the star y'all pay attention to.
Yeah, I agree, but LeBron getting on my nerves. His agent, Rich Paul, I can't stand him. I cannot stand them two. Rich Paul, why is it that all of the people assigning him are the most controversial people in the NBA? I don't think Jimmy Butler is, but outside of Jimmy Butler, the most controversial people in the NBA or egotistical people in the NBA are assigned to Rich Paul.
Listen, man, let me pull up his client list real quick. Yeah, Clutch Sports represents LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Zach LaVine, Fred VanVleet, De'Aaron Fox, Draymond Green, Darius Garland, Cam Reddish, Tyrese Maxey, and Mr. I can never pronounce his name right, Mr. Murray. So yeah, you got De'Aaron Fox asking for a trade at the moment. He wants out of Sacramento. You got Draymond Green who stayed fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I appreciate where he came from, the humble beginnings. They both came up, started together, and they invested in each other and got them both to be successful in what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, the GM James. I don't know. I feel so bad for Bronny. I do.
Like I said,
Are you about to say something?
Oh yeah, it was nothing to do with him. Like I said, it's all on Pops, so to speak. Pops want to chase yet another milestone, another pointless accomplishment. When all that matters is not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. You didn't get the rings you needed to label yourself as the GOAT. like I say, my GOAT will always and forever be Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they literally changed the game of basketball, if you had asked me. Nobody's watching the basketball. I mean, he moved the needle like nobody else moved the needle. So, and I don't think LeBron has never been that type of player. I mean, label coming out as chosen one and all kind of crap, but
Yeah. LeBron is a choke player. I hate to say it, never had the killer instinct. And when they try to deliver to him to make the game winning, shot, he always fails them. So did he even walk out on his team at one point or quit?
I mean, he
During,
walked out on Cleveland twice. He left Cleveland twice.
yeah. Left Cleveland twice during the playoffs, one of the playoff games at Cleveland, I think. He didn't really play. He didn't give a lot of, I can't remember what playoff game it was, but he didn't give a lot of effort.
Yeah. So, as I feel bad with Bronny. I mean, come on, kid. You put those, like I said, I'll say this again. If you blindly look at those stats, there's no way this kid deserves a job or spot on not one NBA roster. Not
No.
one.
And
So,
yeah. And when you think about those stats, his current NBA stats that you called out, if I'm correct, that makes him the worst player in the history of the NBA right now.
it's close. It's so close. Like I said, it clearly, anybody go back, watch the game, and watch how, can I put this nicely? How confused I think he looked. It looked like the game was way too fast. If if we go on the court right now, I think we might just look as good as Bronny.
That's bad.
We will. I mean, we will just like I said. We ain't got nowhere near. I don't have nowhere near his height, his size, but I bet they like a little spoiled wheel. But I think that's how bad it looks. I mean, he like I said, 1 assist, a block, and 3 rebounds. And LeBron had to say early on he thought he played. I don't get it. Ooh, excuse me. I really don't get it.
I'm a father now, but if I ever have a son, I will not put him in this type of situation.
Like I said, I joke all the time. Like I say, I'm about to start T-ball in a few weeks. And I all joke and say, hey, man, you see these contracts these MLB players signing? Hey, well, I might have to teach my son the game of baseball. But it would definitely be, hopefully he develops a love for the game and that what he want to pursue, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't see myself saying, hey, let me do this so my son so I can have this accomplishment for some odd reason off my son's name. But that's all I got on that one.
That's all I have.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Time is valuable, and you chose to spend it with us on the perspective. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a follow, and help us reach more listeners. We'll be back with more soon. In the meantime, explore your perspective.